So the United States government is shutting down, and we don't fully know what will come of it. But if your eyes have been opened, none of this should be catching you by surprise. We are in a turning point in this world. It is truly exciting. As I have been analyzing everything that's happening, I've felt a strong sense of calm as Yah has been guiding me through this for such a long time, setting expectations that have allowed me to live in power while not allowing me to attach to any of these agendas. It's extremely freeing, to say the least. I have been speaking a lot on different topics recently, trying to take advantage of the mind control from the Charlie Kirk event and trying to use it to redirect people towards the truth. One thing that I think is important to make sure is emphasized is really stressing what it is that we as believers should be focused on in these last days. There are so many different doctrines and distractions that people are caught up in major lies that they can't detach from. And I think it's important that I speak directly about the difference with what religion has everyone focused on versus what the Bible actually says, so that clarity can be given to those who seek it in these last days. I've spoken against Christianity many times, and please understand that it's not just because the majority teaches lawlessness. And don't get me wrong, that's a huge problem. But it's also mainly because Christianity hijacked the covenant our Father made with Israel, and because of this, there are going to be many people not ready for what is coming to this earth very soon, because they don't truly understand what it is our Father has proclaimed and who He proclaimed it to. If you're focused on Christianity and believing our Father is in covenant with Christians, when our Father actually fulfills His promises, you are not going to be ready for them. And because we are at a time period where these promises are coming so close to fulfillment, I think it's important that this truth is constantly reminded so that you are not distracted from them as this world is desperately trying to do. Understand, these messages, they are not easy to make. And I promise, I wish that it wasn't something that I needed to deliver so much. But these things absolutely need to be said because there's not a lot of people saying these things. Here's the thing though, whether it was made for you to receive or not, that's not my issue. But my responsibility is that I speak what our Father places on me to say. This is the reason why this ministry is called Truth Unedited. What people don't realize is that the devil, he doesn't just speak full out lies to draw us in. No, he uses truth and then he detours off of it in order to steer us to his agenda. What these videos are for is about giving truth that's not edited in order to help people see through the lies. These videos are not sources of truth. They are made to help people see through lies. They are to be used as a supplement to reading the scriptures. The ones that these videos benefit the most are those that are actually reading their Bibles and studying the scriptures for themselves, those who are truly sincerely seeking our Father out. I feel compelled to explain something that I've explained multiple times, but because of the times we're in, I believe there are many that are now being woken up, and I want to make sure that this is understood for those who truly desire our Father's kingdom. I know I make a lot of content speaking against agendas and falsehoods, but that's just to wake people up while also removing things that, as we are preparing for our Father, that should not be a part of us. All these topics are about preparing the remnant that our Messiah prophesied that he will guard and protect during the period that he tests the earth. These subjects are dealing with great issues that a majority of so-called Christian pastors and Christian channels are not dealing with. If you speak to Christians today, there seems to be two groups: those that believe in the pre-tribulation rapture and those that believe in the post-tribulation rapture. Now, there are mid-tribulation people, but that's not the majority. There are those that believe that they won't be here for the period of the Great Tribulation, and there are those who are waiting to endure to the end of the Great Tribulation period. Now, I, of course, completely reject the first scenario of the pre-tribulation rapture. That is just a complete falsehood from the pit of hell, and I've explained that many times over, so if you disagree, I have playlists that deal with that subject thoroughly. Watch those videos and comment if you have questions. But yeah, as I have said, there are two groups, and one is preparing for falsehoods, and the other I do not have a major issue with that they're desiring to endure to the end, except for the reasons that they believe they're enduring to the end. Most that are desiring to endure to the end are doing so because they desire to be tested, whether they know it or not. The reason for these videos is because I'm trying to prepare the remnant of Israel who will not be tested. This is the Assembly of Philadelphia who guards our Messiah's commands and perseveres through this wicked world. There are many Christian channels that speak about the Church of Philadelphia being the ones that are raptured and taken to heaven before the Great Tribulation. These are just lies from Christianity that have been put in front of the masses in order to make them look one way instead of them looking in the one direction where they should be looking to. So I want to make sure I clearly state this so there's no confusion. and I want to provide understanding for anyone that may be confused or challenged and just not sure. What you do with this is your decision. We are all responsible for our own faith. These things need to be said, so I want to leave this message here. Most people you know, possibly including you, are about to be tested. I am making these messages so you are not. Let's begin. Okay, so let me say this. Many of us, if we grew up in church, we did hear stories of Noah's Ark. I don't know about you, but I always told myself that if I was alive during that time, I would have gotten on that ark when Noah was building it. Imagine knowing the story of Noah, and then when the judgment happens again, you weren't one that was on the ark, but you were one that was mocking Noah and were against him. Now listen, I don't compare myself to Noah, but I do feel I've been put in a position to help prepare people to come into the ark that our Father has been preparing, and I do take it very seriously. So let me explain how I see the world so it can bring clarity. I'm going to state the problem first, and then I will discuss the solution. Right now, look at the world. It's ready to erupt. There's no telling if it happens before I even release this video. We have the United States going through another government shutdown with a narrative around a completely divided government, and we have major world provocations on 3 continents right now, with the mainstream suggesting World War III more than ever. And we have all this going on in the Middle East while I believe that Trump is going to somehow do some kind of peace in the Middle East that deceives people and making people feel that he is the Antichrist. A lot of things going on is what I'm saying. Now let me explain that based on following the money, I do not have 1 ounce of hope for the future of this world. Now maybe if money was the only problem, I maybe could have a bit of optimism. But when you also add the narratives that we have for war, these things are very much convincing that we are moving towards something new, especially when these world leaders literally are saying that they desire a new world order. And so the wars that are being provoked are clearly all about this. And that's not what this video is about. I will get back to the main point of this video, but let me show you something. With the economic problems and the problems of war all in our faces, do you understand that they are still celebrating the fact that we are heading towards world governance? This was just last weekend on the 27th in New York City. Look at all these celebrities celebrating the coming new world order right in our faces. Do you see? It's all right in our faces. They have listed their agendas and their goals and told us all what they are working towards boldly, while people still argue about domestic politics like they really matter. They are preparing for the agenda right in our faces, and they're conditioning the world for it as the audience cheers it on. And many of you who are distracted by these other things they use against you will just be reactive when they start their descent down into their agenda. So yeah, they just ended the Global Citizens Festival, Global Citizens, where they continuously celebrate the goals of a one world government. Add that to everything else that's happening in the world, and this is what the state of the world is. And here's the thing. If you're watching this channel, I don't think that any of this is where we would have differences or disagreements. Most Christians see these things, and to them, this is why pre-tribbers are expecting the rapture to happen at any minute. And this is why the post-tribbers are prepping and preparing to endure to the end. And so with all that stated, and there's a lot more, I don't want to distract from my overall point. I'm just briefly painting the picture of what time it is in our world. Those of you that watch this channel are aware of these events, and that's why many of you believe, just like me, that it's the end times. So where do our disagreements come from? Where is the separation from what Christianity teaches and what the Bible teaches? Let's break this down. The main problem is the perspective that Christianity teaches from. Christianity teaches things from a standpoint of replacement theology. And therefore, Christianity believes that the promises in the Bible are all about Christians. And that's why they believe in the pre-tribulation rapture, because they believe they're going to be rewarded for believing. So they're going to disappear. That's what they believe. I mean, I tell you, religion is one strong drug. Anyways, because of replacement theology, Christians, they read the New Testament only because they think that that's the only thing that's written about them. And so they have ignored Moses and the prophets. And the main difference from what I am teaching and what Christianity teaches is that I do not ignore Moses or the prophets. So can you imagine that an overwhelming majority have skipped what's in the middle of this book, but they truly believe they understand what our Father has declared? Think about it. They think they know about prophecy, but they ignore what? Yeah, the prophets. And so that's the simplest way of explaining the main difference. And so what I am all about is getting people to not think like this and go back and start over without religion and find out what skipping the entire middle of your Bible can lead to. So yes, the main problem is that the most of you understand the scriptures from a Christian perspective. Christianity has people following a different perspective. And this is the main difference between this ministry and what Christianity teaches. Now, based on most of the conversations that I've had over the time of this ministry, it has become very clear to me that most Christians are waiting for the new heaven and the new earth. They are waiting for glorified bodies and for the mansions that Messiah has said he's preparing for them. This is the overall promise that Christians are waiting for. Anytime I ask them what they're waiting for, if they don't talk about the rapture, this is what they say. They're waiting for the new heaven and the new earth. And so don't get me wrong, it is great that they're waiting for this, and there's nothing wrong with that. Those are real promises. But the problem is that most of these people waiting for these promises will never see them, because they will find that they never actually knew our Father in the first place in order for them to receive these promises. And that's the main point of why I have been making these videos. Let me explain that. So Christianity, they're waiting for the new heaven and the new earth. It's written in Revelation 21. Let's read it. Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Also there was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from Elohim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. Elohim himself will be with them and be their Elohim, and Elohim will wipe away every tear from their eye. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. Revelation chapter 21, verses 1 through 4. And again, there is nothing wrong with waiting for these promises. I want these promises too. So what is the big deal or issue, right? What do I feel everyone's missing? Well, the issue is that those promises come after a great deal of other promises that our Father has made. And so the problem is that all those promises that they're missing come before the new heaven and the new earth. It's all those promises that Christians are not aware of and they're not ready for. That's the problem. So the difference with this ministry, and just one out of the many reasons why I said you should break away from Christianity, is that Christianity is not properly preparing you for the last days. And because of that, you do not understand our Father's promises and what he has said he is going to do. I made many videos explaining the promises, so I will not go over them by scriptures in this video. I made separate videos just reading the promises out for anyone that you can always refer back to. This is one of the videos. I've also made a PDF with the scriptures so that if you want to read the scriptures for yourself, you can have a PDF that you can go by. This PDF is in the description box. Just print it out. So if you want to understand it, you can watch those videos and you can print out the PDF. But let me sum it up to you as simple as possible. The main difference between Christianity and what this ministry is teaching in regard to the end times is that Christianity is preparing you for the last promises of the new heaven and new earth, and this ministry is preparing you for the other promises that precede those promises that will make sure you receive the promises of the new heaven and the new earth. And the problem is that most Christians, not all, but most Christians that only focus on those last promises, they will never see it because they rejected the ark that was taking them into it. And most of them are going to be tested and they're not ready for the test. And that goes back to what I was saying about Noah's ark. When our Father told Noah to build the ark, he explained that he is going to judge the earth and told Noah how to prepare for it. Okay, we got that. Now, why we are all in agreement that we are in the end times is because our Father prophesied that these times would come. Our Messiah told us what we should expect when the end of the age would come. This is why we believe that we're in the last days, before our Father judges the earth. We have the book of Revelation that speaks in details of this judgment. Matthew chapter 24 and Luke chapter 21 really cover some of the things that we should expect. We are all on the same page with that if you at least recognize that we're in the end times. Now here's the separation. Just like Yahuwah had a way of saving Noah and his family, when the judgment comes, our Father has prophesied that he would save us too and guard us. He has actually made specific promises and told us what to wait for and to expect. Just like he told Noah exactly how to build the ark, he has prophesied to the prophets on how he would save us and deliver us just as he did Noah. The difference with Christianity and this ministry is that Christians have no idea about the ark that he has created. And in fact, many of them have created a fake one that says they're going to disappear before the bad times come. Spelling it out very clearly, the difference with Christianity and with this ministry is that Christians are waiting for a new heaven and a new earth that comes in Revelation chapter 21, while ignoring the ark that our Father has said he would use to bring us to that promise. And this ministry is preparing you for the ark that he has prophesied that he would use to bring us into Revelation chapter 21. I am preparing for the gathering, the second Exodus, that he has prophesied of, that he said would be greater than the first Exodus when he brought his children out of Egypt. And I am preparing for the restoration of Israel that our Father has prophesied a great deal of, and even the disciples were waiting for. And this is the difference that you're hearing in this ministry versus what you hear in mainstream Christianity and other end times Christian channels. There are many verses that most Christians have ignored or mostly don't even know. Many promises that are all about the end times that we are waiting for. The question that you have to ask yourself is, what do you follow? And that's not my decision to make for you. My job is to present to you what most people are not. I mean, just look at all the scriptures I have presented and just ask yourself why the overwhelming majority don't speak about any of this. All these Christian channels, all these Christian pastors, why is it not a great deal of them speaking about all this? I mean, please consider this. Do you think that in the end times, where the Antichrist is ready to appear on stage, do you think there's going to be an abundance of people pointing to the truth, or the opposite, that there's going to be small amount? You should do this, and I'm not going to show them, but I have gone through all the bigger Christian channels and a lot of the smaller ones too, to see what it is that people are speaking about in these last days. And not one of them speaks about these prophecies, and none of them are speaking about the evil that's happening in this world. There's a lot of just conjecture and a lot of things that, I mean, I saw one channel talk about the lottery. Should Christians play the lottery? Stuff like that. I have gone through all these channels, and these people are not talking about anything that's helping people be prepared for the times to come. And if these channels do talk about these prophecies, they talk about it as if they have already been fulfilled through modern day Israel, even though there are many things in complete opposition to any of that if you just looked into it. So there's not a great deal of truth coming from YouTube channels and other ministries online. Why is that? It's because Christianity is not preparing you for the end. So if a channel is calling themselves Christian and under Christian doctrines, they are not tied to the truth. And you will find that this is a trick of Satan, because here's the hard to deal with truth. You will find that not knowing about these prophecies was not just about deceiving you, but also about you not loving our Father enough to seek him out in his word and read these prophecies for yourself. You see, the difference with me in Christianity is that I am not ignoring the prophets, I am not ignoring the Old Testament, and I am telling you, matter of fact, I'm pleading with you to go back and read them all. And here's the biggest thing, and it's the plot twist that most are not really prepared for. Not only are Christians deceived because there are major books of the Bible they're not reading, but our Father has also given the world up to a massive lie that is preparing them for the Antichrist because they do not love the truth. They are allowed to live in the lie. The scripture says the coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth that they might be saved. And for this reason, Elohim will send them strong delusion that they should believe the lie, that they all may be condemned who do not believe the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 through 12. You see, there is a lawless one coming, who we know as the Antichrist. And amongst the many other agendas that the devil has put forth, he has put forth his people as a fulfillment of prophecy, and has Christians believe that this modern day Israel is the Israel of the scriptures. Satan was allowed to put forth his false signs and lying wonders for all those who love the lie. So here's the thing. This gathering that I am waiting for, called the second Exodus, and the restoration of Israel, it's not like Christians don't know that it's there. It's just that they believe in the lie from the strong delusion, so they falsely believe that it has already happened, it's already been fulfilled. And then you have these major pastors that people trust, that they believe that they would have told them if this actually was true or not. So they feel there's no way that they could be in the strong delusion because they trust these pastors. Satan gave them a false sign and a lying wonder, and that is leading them all to the beast. And they are following it because they are in the strong delusion. They love the lie. And the thing is that all of you need to go back and read the prophecies for yourself, And you can very clearly see that what the world believes is a part of the false signs and lying wonders. And even more clear, we know it's true because we know their whole goal is about bringing about their Messiah to the world. They're calling for their Messiah to come, and they're calling for the rebuilding of the temple. These are all goals for this coming satanic agenda, and Christians know it, but they're literally supporting them through all the stuff that they're doing. I mean, Israel's attacking people in the Middle East all over, sending down bombs on different nations and people. Actions that we will label other nations as basically terrorists for. But because people feel it's their right to do so because they believe they are the chosen people, they support genocide and death. They support all these things because they believe that these people are the biblical people.
Today, the Jewish people are at war for their very survival. So let's bow our heads today and pray. We pray for the IDF that you give them favor to crush the enemies of God. We pray for the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, that you give him the wisdom of Solomon in guiding Israel to victory over this tyranny. In your name we're praying.
It's a real play. And here's the thing, the devil, he's not even hiding his plans from them. He's not secret about their plans and what they're doing. They have literally stated that they have a plan for Christians because the Christian church was long overrun by Masonic leaders. I want you to understand that the only reason you might see other nations now criticizing Israel is because it completely has aligned with the agenda that they told everyone that they are carrying out. It's crazy how they can tell you their plans and carry it out right in your face, but you still ignore it and call it a conspiracy theory. Before I go into the point of all this, which is about being tested, I think it's important that I also speak about their plan. So let me show you. And I've talked about this many times, but I guess it's time to bring it right back out. In 1871, 33rd degree Freemason occultist Grand Master Albert Pike wrote a letter to Giuseppe Mazzini, known as the Pike Letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. It was on display in the British Museum Library in London until 1977. The British Museum Library denies that the letter exists. This does not matter. What matters are what is said in these letters. The letters go over a plan using 3 world wars in order to bring the world into the light of Lucifer. Now, there are many that want to deny that this letter is true because he speaks of the Nazis before they existed. But I caution everyone that feels this way because many don't recognize that all these things are planned way in advance. Albert Pike, the man who wrote Morals and Dogma and explained that Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry, whose light that they are bearing, he went into detail about the 3 world wars before that ever happened. These are excerpts from the letter. I will not go into detail about what was written. I'll post this PDF on my website so you can read it on your own. What is important is what is said about the Third World War. These are the excerpts. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. And look, you can debate amongst yourselves if you believe this letter to be valid or not. I do believe it is valid, and I believe their plan. And as I see the events unfolding, I believe that all of it is a part of it. This is what you're seeing right now. They are taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world. Agentur means agency. So the secret society group has a rift and they're taking advantage of it. The war is to put the Muslim Arabic world and the state of Israel against each other so that they destroy each other. This is the chaos they plan to start. And through this chaos, the other nations of the world will be driven to desperation with no strong guidance or leadership until their Luciferian doctrine comes into full light. What we are seeing right now with Israel is literally them carrying out their plan that they have made for the public to see. Whether you believe the letter is real or not, this is a plan, and it's happening right as they said it would. And it's all about what happens after they start the war that should concern Christians. As Pike explained, these conflicts will bring the world into division. And with them being completely divided on this issue, the people will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. They're going to beat everyone down physically, morally, spiritually, and economically. I mean, you already see this now. The world is divided on who they will support in all this. Mainstream Christians are all in support of Israel and what they're doing. I look at many different Christian end-time ministries to hear what they're saying about the events in the world, and many of them are in support of Israel just because they believe that they're the biblical people. When the war in Israel first started, the majority of Christians, they were supporting them. Now, as the war continues and they continue to label it as genocide, there are many Christians conflicted. This is what many people started talking about Charlie Kirk because he was rethinking it, they say. What people don't understand is that this was the plan. Everyone is moving according to plan, but because most of you live in delusion, you're unable to see it. What the plan is for those that have been following mainstream Christianity is they plan to bring the world to the brink of destruction, and what people think they are preparing for will not work out for them. And just like many failed the test during COVID, what is coming will be much, much worse. And here's the plan. These people are going to be tested. And that's the plan. It says, then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. Basically, it's saying those who are following Christianity are not going to have a clue of what to do, and they will need direction and understanding. And just like they had a plan to guide us through COVID, you better believe they have a strong plan to guide the many lost to Christianity, guiding them to the beast and their satanic goals. So here's the question. Why do you think they believe people are disillusioned in Christianity? You see, pride will tell people that it's because they're evil and they just don't believe, but it's much deeper than that. You see, they know Christians are disillusioned because these Masons are the ones who disillusioned them. They are the ones creating the Christian doctrine and telling Christians what to focus on and what not to focus on. Remember, I shared that there's a big difference between what Christianity is waiting for and what this ministry is waiting for, and the difference comes from using all the scriptures. Those in Christianity have been taught to ignore the prophets, and the art that we're preparing for they have no clue about. And actually, many hypocritically have been attacking me saying I'm idolizing Israel and teaching another gospel, all because their pride does not allow them to see that they have ignored much of what our Father has proclaimed. And so understand, not all will be led into their false light of Lucifer, but all will be tested. And it is this test that I am desperately trying to keep you out from taking, because much of what comes with that test is major persecution, because Satan won't have access to those who are in the ark. And so I'm making these videos and dealing with these subjects so that it helps prepare you for what Christianity is not preparing you for. And the craziest thing is that people are literally treating me like I am the enemy because I'm trying to expose them to lies that they have been told and showing them the scriptures that they aren't reading. This is the test that you're about to enter into because you're attached to the lie. And I think it's important that if you don't want to be a part of it, that you wake up from your slumber. It says, therefore be patient, brethren, until the coming of the master. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, waiting patiently for it until it receives the early and latter rain. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the master is at hand. Do not grumble against one another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge is standing at the door. My brethren, take the prophets who spoke in the name of Yahuwah as an example of suffering and patience. Indeed, we count them blessed who endure. You have heard of the perseverance of Job and seen the end intended by Yahuwah, that he is very compassionate and merciful. But above all, my brethren, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or with any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no be no, lest you fall into judgment. James chapter 5, verses 7 through 12. This is the time where you must rest assured in your faith. You cannot falter and be double-minded. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. The main purpose of the Satanic agenda is to get all who are disillusioned in mainstream Christianity, and they will break many of them down, and it is important that you preserve yourself so that you're not a part of that. This is what is upon you as we speak. So if you allow these agendas to manipulate you and wear you down, so many of you were so beaten down with that Charlie Kirk nonsense. If you allow these things to beat you down, you are letting your guard down at the most important time in history. So please, whatever is going on, please do not attach yourself to it. Know what the prophets had said and believe in Yahweh's promises. These messages are hard to hear because the world is filthy and full of lies and hate. And if you're going to be ready, you need to get through all of it. Whether you are tested is completely your decision. So I have gone through the overall problem in a condensed way as possible to explain to you where I'm coming from with these videos. You can disagree all you want, but if you do, it should be from apples to apples. If you have an understanding of end times Bible prophecy that is primarily dependent on the New Testament, you only have a small portion of the understanding, and your understanding is not grounded in full truth, and it is going to lead you to be tested and not come on the ark. Now, I know I have not explained the test and the ark, so now that I have thoroughly explained the problem, I will next thoroughly explain the answer. In the end, it is your choice what you follow, but I want to be thorough so that there is no confusion on what this ministry is about and what the purpose is. So Yah willing, I will release the next part to this video tomorrow. If it is already released, the link will show up at the end of this video or in the description box. Go to part 2 and understand the test and the ark that you should be preparing for. I pray that you walk in a sound mind and truly prepare yourself for what's coming in this world. Because believe me, the kingdom of Yahuwah is truly at hand. Be ready for it and be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Okay, so listen, thanks for watching. If this has blessed you, please make sure to like it and share this video with others. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Yah willing, I upload every Friday. Please make sure to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram, as well as on my website, truthunedited.com. I again want to thank everyone who is sowing into this ministry. I feel very humbled by this assignment Yahweh has given me. Your support truly blesses this ministry. I thank you for your assistance with me carrying this out and serving him. I'm truly grateful for you. You know who you are. Be blessed. Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. I love you all.